Roadmap to Victory is sponsored by the R&R family of companies.
Welcome back to Nittany Game Week. I'm Todd Sadowski at Hard Rock Stadium. 13 wins during an unforgettable season. Coach Paterno is here now with our roadmap to victory to detail some of the great things PSU did this season that they can utilize moving forward.
Well, tough way to end the season with the loss in the Orange Bowl. But you know what? At the end of the day, you got to look at this thing and talk about what a great season the whole year was. So when you have a great season like Penn State had this year, there are a number of plays that you may not remember 5 years from now or even 5 weeks from now that we're going to look at that set up a great season like we had. So let's start with the USC game, which that was a big win at the time on the road in overtime. And what do you remember about that game? You probably remember Tyler Warren, his 17 catches, 224 yards, and 1 touchdown. What you may not remember is the guy who came up with the big plays, Julian Fleming. And let's talk about those 2 catches. He had 2 catches the whole game, both of them on 4th downs, both of them on the touchdown drive to tie the game that were critical. If he doesn't make those plays, Penn State doesn't win. Now here, obviously Warren had a lot of catches. The safety off the screen comes in and doubles along with that linebacker. So that takes that away. They take the slot away, and now Fleming has to make the play. And when you look at this, Allor goes back to pass. He's clearly looking Warren's way, and then he comes back on a 4th and 7, 4th and ball game. Fleming makes the play. Now, later in the game, same situation. Another 4th and long, this time 4th and 10. Ball game on the line. Again, same thing. They're taking Warren down the middle. They cover him. They get another guy covering the slot. And now, as Allor scrambles, who does he find again? Once again, Julian Fleming. 2 catches the whole day. You just saw both of them. And if he doesn't make either one of them, they lose the game. Now, let's talk about another road win. Penn State at Wisconsin. It was a 28-13 final, but let's talk about, you go deeper in that game. In the first half, Penn State struggled. Only 7 points, 1 of 5 on 3rd downs, 0-1 on 4th downs. And Allor on 3rd down was only 2 of 5 for 18 yards, only made 1 first down in those situations. Second half, Pribula comes in the game, 21 points, 7 via a pick 6, 230 yards of offense, 7 of 9 on 3rd downs, and it really changed the game. Now let's talk about how that happened. Let's talk about the pick 6 first. Penn State is showing blitz. It's 3rd and long for Wisconsin. The inside push, they don't blitz. The inside push gets in the quarterback's face, and now he's forced to throw the ball to this guy, run down the slot, and you have robber coverage where the safety who's hanging underneath gets under that play, makes the play, and returns it for a touchdown, gets Penn State on top. Now, later in the game, again, you talk about unsung heroes. Here you have Singleton, who's a great receiver. They like to get him in the flat inside the 10. They're trying to get Warren to come backside, and he gets caught in the traffic, so they got those both covered. So now Pribula has to hang in there, and he finds number 16, Khalil Dinkins, who is not one of the major threats in this pass game, but at the right time, in the right place, makes the play he has to. You may not remember that years from now, but that was a critical play in the season. And then finally, when you talk about putting the game away, Penn State's now up 8. They run a direct snap to the running back. Pribula carries out his fake, which gets these linebackers to hesitate. It creates the blocking angles on the edge, and this puts the game away for good at Wisconsin. And it's never an easy place to go and win. They took Oregon to the wire. They really gave Penn State a game. But those plays, those couple plays, were the difference in the game. Now, one other game you got to think about. Minnesota, a 1-point escape for Penn State. Here's a critical point in the game. Penn State is up 1. Minnesota is driving and having success moving the ball. And there's a fumble that goes on the ground. The quarterback fumbles it. So they create that fumble. The ball then is on the ground. As 2 or 3 people are getting, he bats it away, and then you're going to see great hustle from the safety coming out of the secondary to get this fumble recovery, which then led to a Penn State field goal that put them up with a chance to win the game. Later in the game, 26-22, Minnesota again is driving the ball. They've hit a couple of passes. They've done some great things. Here, this quarterback zips the ball into this passing lane. Here's the window. The safety actually gets caught a step or 2 out of position, but great hustle at the end of the play keeps this guy out of the end zone and keeps Minnesota from taking the lead. And those are just little things, just that little swat right there. And that's the difference between having the kind of season Penn State had and what they could have been had they lost any one of these 3 games. And that is your roadmap, not only to victory, but to a great season, Todd.
Thanks, Coach. Of course, this is a tough one for the fan base as well. They show up and ride the roller coaster in the national semifinal. They were here in South Florida ready to root for their favorite team. A big group of blue and white fans gather at the Alumni Association tailgate to get ready to root on PSU. A smaller gathering was close by, a Penn State family brought together by the Orange Bowl.
It's a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity for me, watching them go all across the nation and then finally coming down to where I live now, and it's, a huge opportunity, so wanted to bring the whole family down.
It didn't take much coaxing to convince the Rents to visit in South Florida, and you got to start them young. Little Rylan will be cheering on the blue and white for a long, long time. Still to come, he's not the kind of interview to keep to just one segment. We'll have more with legendary broadcaster Bob Costas in our Impact interview when we return.